outstanding children's television.
So, obviously, it, wouldn't survive. But even if it had survived, it'd never play bocce ball again. I like that joke. Just in from Wichita, Kansas. Thanks for calling that one in. Listen, folks, I got to tell you, this is the only television pledge show that doesn't ask for your money by making you feel guilty. No, sir, we wouldn't do that. We just ask for your math pledge by making you feel guilty. But seriously, listen, think of the many times you use math throughout the day and just pledge us your support. Would you do that? Let's check and see how we're doing at Pledge Central.
Thanks, Blair. Well, Jiminy Christmas, we're doing pretty well here. As you can see by this pie chart, we have reached 54% of our quota. That means more than half of you have pledged your support to mathematics. Now, this next area, which moves us up to 61%, is what we hope to achieve in the next hour. We are projecting or estimating this figure based on our history. We have generally moved ahead about 7% per hour on average throughout our pledge drive. Now, you're probably wondering what this third mark is. It stands at 71%. So far, the biggest jump we've had in 1 hour is 17%. We show you this to say that if we could get one more 17% hour right now, this is where we would be, 71% of the goal. The total is, of course, represented by the entire 100% pie. Oh, keep those math pledges coming, math fans. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you very much, George. I appreciate you coming down today. Hey, how we doing here, folks? Listen, I got some great news as I understand it. Prince, Charlie, let me tell you, Chris has got an interview now with one of the stars of Square One TV. Here we go, Chris.
Thanks, Larry. I'm here with a superhero who really needs no superhero introduction, and so I can just say, welcome to Mathza-Poppin, Superguy!
Thank you, and thank you, Chris. It's always a pleasure to be interviewed sitting down.
Superguy, I'm sure your fans have many questions they want to ask you.
Yes, they always do, so let me just give you the answers to the most commonly asked questions. Los Altos, California, blackened sea bass, the giant redwood trees, 6 inches, 4 quarts, and $2.50 a week.
Whoa, thank you so much, Superguy, for getting those questions out of the way. Now tell me, you've been a stalwart bulwark on Square One TV for these many shows. What was your favorite piece of mathematical prowess?
Ooh, there have been so many, as you might well imagine, but I would have to say it was the time I learned how many combinations of costume I could affect, cape and belt-wise.
Oh, I believe you solved that problem using...
combinatorics.
Yes, of course.
Super word.
In fact, I was in that sketch.
Oh, yes, you were, Chris, but you didn't have a very big part.
Yes, but someone once said there are no small parts.
Oh, yes, there are. Anyway, I used combinatorics to solve the problem. Just look at this. My super sensitive eyes tell me that would be the red cape with the black belt.
Red cape, black belt.
It would also be tic-tac-toe. Oh, sorry.
Very good, sir. We've also solved the problem, you see. We have each color cape with each color belt. There are 9 possible combinations.
My super sensitive eyes also tell me there are 3 belts and 3 capes. Maybe we could have multiplied 3 times 3, and that also would have given us the answer 9.
Wonderful.
You found out how many different combinations you could come up with.
By multiplying 3, the number of capes, times 3, the number of belts.
And you came up with the answer?
9.
Wow.
Now, if there had been 8 belts and 7 capes, there would have been 56 combinations. Or if there had been 9 belts and 500 capes.
Superguy, I'd like to thank you for being with me.
Then do it, Chris. Thank me for being with you.
Thank you for being with me.
You're welcome.
Larry?
Chris, thank you so much for that. You know, that's just another wonderful example of how wonderful math can be. It's been a great show today, folks. And you know what I want you to do is I want you to come on back tomorrow and see what you can do about pledging some more math to us. What do you say? And visit us once again on Square One Math-A-Thon, the only show which begs the question, if you can't stand the heat.
Wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math. Wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math. You wanna be a doctor, you wanna be a nurse, you wanna fly a jet plane, you got to know math first. You wanna coach football, run a baseball team, operate computers, be whatever you dream. You wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math. Please, you gotta know math. Wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math. Wanna be a stunt man, a scientist, a photographer, an archaeologist, a firefighter, a detective, fighting fires and crime. You'll have to work with a lot of numbers, using math all the time. Wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math.
Gotta know math, you gotta know math.
Wanna be anything you wanna be, anything you wanna be, you got to know math. You got to know math.
Now, Larry, Cynthia, I have a trick with some pieces of paper and our deck of playing cards. Now, I'm going to write some numbers down on this piece of paper here. I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you see I've written all these numbers down here.
Yes.
Now, before we go any further, I'm going to take a couple of playing cards out of here and place them down on the table. I want you to turn over any one of those cards, therefore changing the sum total of what is down there, and then once she has made that decision, you add up whatever there is.
Okay.
Okay, whatever it is. Turn over any one at all. You've turned over the 3 and made it the 4. Now add up what we have. 4 and 5 and 7 and 1 makes
17.
17. And how did I know that was what was going to happen? Well, that's just part 1. Now pick up all of the cards and put them down in any way you wish. In other words, any side up, any side down. And then, Cynthia, I want you to watch him very carefully.
I'm watching.
Okay. Now, both of you add that up. And do you have a number?
Yes.
All righty. Now, I'm having a little trouble with the odd numbers. How many odd numbers are there?
2.
There are
3.
There are 3 odd numbers. All righty. Now, if you will add up all of those, and what is that?
17.
17. And there it is. We have 17. Now, you could have turned over any other or several numbers And the answer, very simply, is this. When you add up all of the odd numbers in this sequence, in which there is an even number and an odd number on the card, the odd number being one less than the even, the 1, 3, 5, and 7 will always add up to 16. Therefore, when you turned one over, the answer was 17, because we added 1. When I asked you the number of odd, the reason was because if you add up all of the even numbers, that adds up to 20. So that's my key. When you tell me how many odds there are, 1 would make it 19, 2 would make it 18. You told me there were 3 odd numbers, therefore it had to once again be 17. You see what I mean?
That's amazing.
And that's how it's done.
That's fantastic.
Mr. Blackstone.
Yes?
Your famous floating light bulb is getting away.
Uh-oh, I'd better be right
Yeah,
back.
okay, we'll see you in a second.
Oh, no. Oh. Rick again?
Yeah.
The sound of knocking has caused me once again to exit my comfortable chair and fumfer my way toward the door. I don't care who is there, because all I wish to do is live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking mathematician. It's the one and only Hilton Schneider, friend to those who don't need any more. Here with another number quiz, are you, Schneider?
You bet. One of these is a secret number.
That's not true. I can see every one of them, and they're all triangular numbers. None of them is a secret.
You know what I mean, Mr. Beasley. By asking me only 3 questions, each reducing the list of numbers exactly in half, you must find that number.
All right, I'll do it, Schneider, but after this, you're on your own. You won't have Beasley to kick around anymore. I'm moving.
Where to?
I'm taking up residence in an unlisted cartoon series.
Ask your first question. Remember, it must eliminate half or 4 of the numbers on the board.
Okay, let me ask you this, Schneider. Is the number an odd number?
No.
Well, you needn't be so mirthful. I have still eliminated half the numbers, even though your response was negative. I could have had the same result had I asked if the number was even.
Press on.
Now, my question must eliminate 2 of the 4 remaining numbers. Is the number a multiple of 4?
No.
Try to hold it down to a dull roar, will you, Schneider? Okay, I'm down to 2 numbers. Let me pose this question to you. Is the number a factor of 42?
Yes.
I have solved another problem for Hilton Schneider. I wonder if he has a second job. Hard to believe he'd make enough money just bothering me occasionally. Oh, well.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Thursday, 9:43 a.m., and Carnegie Hall was alive with the sound of music. Flugelmeister was playing Kusevitsky, Scheistermeister was playing Rachmaninoff, and Lindell was playing Becker. The concert halls were filled, and in the Carnegie basement, a bunch of jazz cats were playing Tom and Jerry's Der Flatter der Maus der Better. There wasn't a sour note in the city. We were working the day watch out of Mathnet. My partner is George Franklin. The captain is Joe Greco. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We found ourselves involved in a bizarre kidnapping involving a one-time Broadway star and a will-be Broadway star. The will-be was a friend named Eve Adams. We decided to eyeball a couple of scenes from earlier flickers to get our heads screwed on right. When the star of a just-opened musical called Anything Went turned up missing, Eve had to go on in her place.
This could be your big break, Eve.
You're gonna knock him dead in the aisles, Eve.
Oh, thanks. Will you stay for the performance tonight?
We had work to do, so we couldn't. But she didn't need our support. The show was a smash hit.
Did you see what the New York Times said about her? Eve Adams is the brightest talent to illuminate the Broadway sky in years.
I was one proud mathematician, but then they found out what really happened to the star, Lauren Bachanal.
They found her?
Nope,
You said they know what happened to her.
they do. She was kidnapped. Not only was she kidnapped, evidence pointed to Eve as the kidnapper.
We know that Eve did not kidnap Lauren Bachanal. Unless
what?
Eve did kidnap Lauren Bachanal.
Of course, it was possible that Eve had something to do with it, but I just knew she couldn't have. Then we got a message from Miss Bachanal on her answering service.
already given them $2 million from the production, but you'll have to raise 3 more. They're holding me at...
Then we got a second tape recording. This one was just a series of 12 touch-tone telephone tones. We thought it might be a code. We matched the tones with the corresponding numbers on the telephone.
There it is, Kate.
Off the top, there doesn't seem to be any number pattern that repeats itself, does there?
No, there doesn't.
If it was a code, it was a tough one to break.
Maybe it's a phone
We
number.
tried to match the numbers on the phone with the letters each represented.
Oh, boy. It's a lot better now, Kate.
Really? You got something?
I'm kidding. Listen. Cliff Cleovis boy.
Bless you.
Sounds like a linebacker from Penn State.
It's got to be a code. We just haven't broken it yet.
Then Captain Greco showed us another piece of evidence. A necklace that belonged to Miss Bacchanal.
Where did you get it?
Believe it or not, it was found by my men.
Really? Where?
In Eve Adams' dressing room a little while ago.
What are you going to do, Captain?
Nothing. Not until this evening's performance is over. Then,
Yes.
I am going to have to arrest Eve Adams and put her where the sun don't shine.
In jail?
In jail.
Morning, George.
Hi.
How was your evening?
Okay.
What's the capital of Iowa?
About 9:57.
George. What the heck you doing?
Remember that number letter code we got yesterday?
If that's what it was, yes. We couldn't make much sense out of it.
Well, not when we looked at the bottom line. Then I thought maybe the second line.
And that made sense?
No, it didn't. Neither did the first line.
So you still haven't answered my question, George. What the heck are you doing?
Look.
What's this?
Look. I can slide these up and down.
You like sliding cardboard strips up and down, do you, George?
Remember how we said there were an awful lot of different combinations you can make here?
Uh-huh.
There are 531,441 different combinations.
So that's why you turned to a life of sliding cardboard strips up and down.
This is a combinatoric graphic. By moving these up and down, I can look for letter patterns which make words.
But 500,000 combinations?
But that's another thing. There really aren't 531,441 different combinations.
But 3 to the 12th is...
How many combinations can you make from these first two columns?
I can follow each of these 3 letters with any of these 3 letters.
Well, 3 times 3 is 9. But you really don't have 9 because, look, there are no English words that begin with BK, BJ, CK, or CJ.
So right away we've eliminated 4 of the 9. That cuts the number of combinations almost in half.
Yep, so I started looking for words in this melange.
I see. Fox. Hour. Hour.
Now, here. Ale. Ox. Jim. Here, I've made a list. The longest word I found is house.
Maybe she's being kept in a house.
Maybe. The trouble is, a lot of these words overlap. You know, use the same letters. Like hour, and house. Both words couldn't be in the same message.
Right. Try moving the strips again, from left to right.
Okay. We get ale, nothing beyond that. A-L-E-A. Nope. A-L-E-B. Nothing. A-L-E-C.
Nickname for Alexander?
Next letter is K. Alec House?
Maybe there's a place called Alec House. Go on.
Okay, with B, we get B-L-E-A-K. Bleak House?
Maybe. Try C.
Cleek House.
Okay, we've got 3 possibilities. What about the last 2 columns?
Okay. Alec House, Bleak House, Cleek House. O-Y, O-X, O-W, N-W, N-X, N-Y, M-Y, M-X, M-W. Not much.
George, wait. In Y.
N... Y. New York, of course. Alec House, New York, or Bleak House, New York, or Cleek House, New York.
Maybe it's a hotel. I'll check with our computer people.
Morning, Kate.
Morning, Captain.
How'd the collar go last night, J. Edgar?
You think I like locking up pretty actresses? I had to do it, George.
I know. She all right?
She's as comfortable as anyone can be in jail. She still says she's innocent.
Well, Kate and I think so too, Skipper. Trying to break this coded message we found yesterday. Could lead us to Miss Bacchanal.
Good luck.
A little good news, a little bad news. Which do you want first?
Oh, the bad news, I guess.
The bad news is there isn't an Alec House, a Bleak House, or a Cleek House in New York City.
Terrific. What's the good news?
There is a Bleak House in New York State,
Really? Where?
in a town called Nyack.
Nyack. N-Y-A-C-K?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's where she is. Why didn't she spell out Nyack?
Maybe she was cut off by the kidnappers.
Got the address?
Partner, let's roll. We called Benny, our undercover cop, substitute teacher, and driver extraordinaire, and along with Captain Greco, headed north to see what we could see. We had stuck with it, which is what you have to do to solve tough problems. Of course, we thought we had the answer, but you're never sure until it checks out. Bleak House looked as though it had seen better days. We called the local police for backup in case we ran into trouble with the kidnappers.
Open up, police!
Help! Police!
We're coming in.
Help! Thank you. I never thought I'd see freedom again.
Are you all right, Miss Bacchanal?
Trifle shaky. Oh,
Can you handle a question or two?
Go ahead.
Did you know the men who kidnapped you?
I never saw them. It was too dark in my dressing room. and they kept me blindfolded here, except at night. But then it was too dark to make out their countenance. Perhaps by their voices. They were gruff.
Most kidnappers are.
Very gruff, Mr. Franklin. One of them broke my nail when he slammed the phone down while I was sending my code.
And it was a very clever code, too.
Thank you.
Were there just 2 men, Miss Bacchanal?
Isn't that enough? 2 men and that treacherous, conniving little vixen who tried to take over my part.
Eve was here?
She was.
You said you were blindfolded.
I heard her. It was Wednesday afternoon. She came here to collect her share of the boodle, or whatever you policemen call that.
Money. We call it money.
If you can't finger those 2 mugs, I'm afraid you're out the $2 million ransom.
File it under the cost of doing business. And now, if you'll excuse me, my public awaits.
Come, George. Our office awaits. George and I decided to visit Eve to try and cheer her up. She was lower than a snake's hips.
It's nice to see friends, even under these circumstances.
We just wanted you to know. Well, I don't know.
We still like you, even if you're a crook.
George.
I mean, even though it looks like.
I understand. But I am not a crook.
Where have I heard that before?
Eve, how do you explain this? Lauren said she heard your voice in Nyack.
Nyack? I've never been to Nyack. I've never even heard of Nyack.
I hadn't either.
Lauren said she heard your voice there last Wednesday. Said she thought you'd come back to pick up your share of the ransom.
Well, if I did, where's the money?
Matter of fact, we've gotten a court order to check out your bank transactions, Eve.
Check away. All you'll find is about $800 in change.
I'm sorry we have to snoop, but we do.
That's okay. It would have been more. You know, the balance. Except for my first paycheck.
Oh, you finally got paid?
Uh-huh. And can you beat it? I took it to Lauren's bank and the check bounced.
Your first paycheck bounced?
Yep. Boy, when things go bad, they go bad.
Eve, we've got to go.
Thanks for showing me your line.
Keep your chin up, Eve.
Catherine.
Eve?
When was I supposed to have been in Nyack?
Last Wednesday afternoon.
Fancy that. An alibi.
What?
Last Wednesday afternoon, I was on stage doing a matinee performance of Anything Went. Remember?
"100% of Square One TV is a production of the Children's Television Workshop.